Welcome to the Massacre Matinee.
Hello, and welcome to the first viewing of the Massacre Matinee. I'm Kate, or Panda, and I'm with
Ari, or Mingus.
Yeah.
This podcast is totally uncensored. Uncensored. Like, the topics are gonna be dark, the language is gonna be shitty, we swear a lot, and we talk about some really gnarly stuff. And if you don't think that you're gonna be okay hearing about some of these cases, because a lot of them do involve, a lot of blood, a lot of gore, a lot of dead bodies, and more. Sometimes we're gonna talk about things like rape, and sometimes there's gonna be LGBTQ topics and things that can be very triggering to some people. And
controversial.
And controversial. And if you think you can be triggered by any of these topics, don't listen to the podcast.
And don't force yourself to get through and just be like, well, maybe it's not that bad. Like, we'll have descriptions of, like, what we're going over, so then you can judge, hey, is this something I want to try out? And we're not going to judge you. We don't judge people here.
No.
But I do have a doozy for the first one.
And it isn't for this one.
Well, we have a theme for the first episode. And it's things to do with in the walls.
What's in the walls?
Bodies.
There's bodies in the walls.
There's bodies in the walls. So, giddy up, sluts, because this is a twofer, and it also includes murder.
A twofer that includes murder?
It's a twofer that includes murder. We're having a double showing, my guys. Alright, so let's get right into it, because it's very interesting. So the first one takes place in 1986.
I didn't exist in 1986.
It was a very long way from existing in 1986.
How old was your mom in 1986?
11.
A ways off, I think.
Yeah.
A long ways
I think
off.
she was born in 75. Let me just drop my family's listening to this, so Mom, sorry for dropping your age in the first episode.
Panda Mom, it's okay. My mom is about 10 years older than your mom, but I'm also about 10 years older than your daughter, so it works out!
Coincidence? I think not. Anyway, so 1986, alright. I'm fairly certain that this takes place it takes place in Massachusetts, which is a hard word for me to say sometimes.
Massachusetts. I was born over that way.
Yeah?
Yeah, in that general, not in Massachusetts, but, not in 1986.
No. So, in, the little suburbia home, we have Tina and Karen. Tina's 15, Karen's 9. They kind of, over a span of a couple weeks, they kind of notice that things kind of are moving around in their house. So, they'll place, let's say they put, a vase somewhere, and the next thing you know, a couple days later, it's either gone, or it's just moved somewhere else in the home, and no one else had done it. They start thinking, oh my god, our house is haunted, because, they're kids.
Yeah.
So they're immediately going, okay, our house is haunted. They tell their dad, their dad's like, okay, you know what? You guys are imagining this. Relax, our house isn't haunted. You guys are probably just moving stuff and not realizing it, like your kids. Your brain's going 50 miles per hour most of the time. Well, December comes around, and the family is in their living room, they're enjoying their nice evening, and then all of a sudden a teenage boy shows up in their living room, and he has spiked hair, he's wearing face paint.
Just, walks in the house?
No, just kind of comes down the stairs.
So he was already in the house?
He was in the house. So he comes down the stairs from upstairs, and, walks into the family room. He has a hatchet in one hand, and he has a wrench in the other, and he's like, alright guys, you're fucking getting upstairs. And he makes them go into a bedroom on the upstairs floor. And
it was just the two of them there?
No, it was the dad. Everywhere I looked, never mentioned anything about a mom. I don't know if, she was around or not.
But, they were all just hanging out?
Yeah,
then?
so it was the dad's name's Frank. He and Tina and Karen, they were all in the living room. Tina escapes through a window. I'm assuming that their house has kind of like a little peak over the like front, so she's able to get outside and down safely because a second floor jump like that, you could break a bone easily.
Easily, yeah. Especially that young.
So she's able to escape through a window. She goes to a neighbor. She's able to call the cops. By the time the cops get there, the boy's gone. 2 days later, because the family were like, fuck this, we're not staying here, they went and stayed with some family. Frank came back to come collect some stuff that they needed, some like necessities, clothes and stuff like that.
Right. Change underwear.
And he's like walking up to the house, and he ends up like looking up, and the boy is sitting in the second floor window watching him.
Just sitting in the house.
Sitting in the house, just watching him. So he goes to a neighbor, calls the police. The police are able to get him this time. And he was 16-year-old Daniel LaPlante.
LaPlante.
Yeah. So he's only 16, and he's, coming after families with, a hatchet and everything like that. And they're like, how did you get into the house without anyone noticing? And it turns out he had been living in the wall of their bathroom.
What?
For like 3 weeks, watching them, coming out, tormenting them by either taking objects and hiding them, or just moving things like to the left a few inches and just fucking with them that way. The space was only big enough for him to sit there and crouch down. So he's like sitting in a squatting position.
Okay.
And he would sleep like that. In this
that
little
sounds super uncomfortable.
Right. And he was like, he would watch people while they were using the bathroom because he could see out of a little bit. I'm assuming it's like the little service place to like get in and like,
for like
fix
plumbing and
yeah,
stuff.
That's what I'm assuming. So he's like hiding in there. So he's arrested for that. And he got a very, very lenient sentence because he was under 18. So he goes to juvie, and he's only in there for less than a year.
Why so short?
I mean, because I guess at that point it's just like a breaking and entering kind of thing. But I don't know. So a year later to the date, he's arrested again. But this time for murder.
Okay. How did we get from bathroom peeping Tom to murder?
Because he went to another house and hid in their walls.
Is he always just in the walls?
I'm assuming he has a thing for walls. So, he ended up murdering a woman named Priscilla and her 2 young kids in her home. I couldn't find out how. They never really said how he murdered them, but I'm assuming he just kind of like bludgeoned them to death. For that, he got 3 life sentences.
So he's at least still in jail.
Yeah, he's still in jail. But he also decides that he's like, you know what? While I'm in jail, I'm gonna start, practicing Wicca or paganism.
As someone that has a bit of understanding of Wicca, like, one of the main things of Wicca is do as you will so long as you harm none.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he fucked that up already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the story of, 16-year-old Daniel. It was a nice little short one. I figured it was a nice one to start off on, because it's just how creepy it is to be like, I would never want to, like, I would have so much anxiety just like, is someone in my walls?
Right.
Like,
we'll see if we can find out more about that story, because I would be really interested to know what sort of fucked up things happened in his younger years to
especially
have
like
caused this
in
situation.
The 80s and him already having, the kind of like, he was already dressing like he was in the 90s. Like late 90s, and
okay.
they had like the spiked hair, like
very
grunge,
punk
and,
grunge kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if we can come back to that.
I tried looking up to see if like he was still alive. I'm assuming he was, because I mean, when he got arrested and tried for that, he was only at most 17.
Yeah, and that was what, in 87, you said?
Yeah, 87 when he went to jail for 3 life sentences. He's middle-aged. He's middle-aged.
Definitely up there. Could still possibly be around. Let's see what we can
feel
find
like he
on it,
would
though.
still be around, just because, unless he got into like some kind of fight in prison, like I don't see him really.
Who knows? Today's episode of the Massacre Matinee is brought to you by Mingus, because it's recorded in my house and we're too small for real sponsors. Thanks, me. But you said this was a twofer.
Yes, this next one is very weird, and it kind of delves into the land of fetishes. And this is one I had not heard before, but apparently it is common, mainly among males.
Okay.
And this is also in the 80s, but it's in Germany. This dude, his name is Luigi Longhi, which, fun name to try to look up, because I did not realize that, like, there are names very similar to them, of, like, in sports and stuff like that. So I was
wow.
wait.
I bet that made looking this up awesome.
Yeah, so I got this one from another podcast. My Favorite Murder. Love them. They're great. They also mentioned that they got this one from... There's trading cards of weird true crime and murderers and stuff like that, and it's like someone did art, and like I want to get my hands on them, but like a pack of them is like $90.
Damn.
And then like that's where they got this one from, because someone like sent them these trading cards. He has a fetish for washing people's hair.
Oh, just get a job at a salon.
Right? That would be the main, like that would be the thing to do, but he did not go that route.
It depends on how he fetishizes it.
Just the act of washing hair.
Does it, like
feeling the shampoo...
spring him a boner? Because he might get in trouble doing that all the time in the shop.
It is a sexual fetish.
So maybe not getting a job in a hair salon.
Like he just loves it. He loves the way that it, like, feels in it. Like, having the shampoo... like lather in someone's hair, rinsing it out, starting it again. So he just really loves the process.
Okay.
But not the end result, because he just likes the act of doing it.
Okay.
Which, that's not really like a harmful fetish to have. It doesn't hurt anybody, unless you use the wrong shampoo on their hair and you like make it straw.
As long as you can, not be creepy about it, I guess. I mean...
Well, he must not have been that creepy of a guy, because in May 1981, he was able to convince a hitchhiker. Now, really excuse my pronunciation of this, because I am horrible with German names, but it's Heike Fiet or something like that. It's close to that. Feiheit.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't speak German.
My brain wants to say Fahrenheit, and that's not right. He convinced her to go to his apartment so he can wash her hair. He convinced her to go, that he was gonna pay her to do it, and like she was kind of in between, like she wasn't in a good place financially or any kind of thing like that, hence why she was like hitchhiking. So he offered to pay her money to just wash her hair. I'm not gonna hurt you, I just want to wash your hair. Just, yeah, like,
how did she not find that a little bit? I, for one, find that a little bit weird.
But I mean... he must have been convincing enough, because she goes.
I suppose, people fell for Ted Bundy, so...
Yeah, you're right. He goes in and, sets her down, starts washing her hair, and it must have been the best hair washing of her goddamn life, because they did it for hours. Him just washing her hair to the point where they both fell asleep. So she fell asleep... and he also fell asleep. A couple hours passed. I'm assuming that this happened early morning, because a lot of time passes in this case. So he ends up waking up before her. And he goes, okay, she's not going to let me do this anymore. I know that she's not going to, but, like, I can't stop. So he has, the big brain moment of, I'm going to tie her up so she can stay here. I just want to wash her hair. Like, that's all he wants to do at this moment.
Trying to justify it?
Like, he's like, I don't want to, like, do anything bad. I can't stop washing her hair. Because he just gets in this mindset, like, that is the only thing he wants to do. That is the only thing he cares about. But he doesn't want to hurt anybody for it.
Okay.
So he ties up her legs, and he ties up her arms, and he puts a gag in her mouth. So she can't scream, because he knows, what, people are going to get the wrong idea, but I mean, you're tying somebody up to do this.
Yeah.
No matter what, they're going to get the wrong idea.
Exactly.
So she wakes up, and obviously she's freaking out, because, she wakes up, she's tied up, she's at a strange place. He's still washing her hair.
Hasn't stopped.
Aside
from that short time
Except
he fell
for
asleep.
the little time he's like, I need a little nap, and then we're gonna go right back at this.
Yeah.
he has washed her hair for so long, because, like, now it's been another couple hours.
Right.
He starts running out of shampoo.
Huh.
So he's panicking.
Who would have thought that would have been his problem? It's not that I've got a woman tied to a chair so I can perpetually...
I just want to know what size bottle he started off with.
That it took that many hours?
Yeah, that they were able to wash it for hours unless
Maybe he just did a good long lather.
No, probably. He probably tried to get... He probably lathered until the bubbles left. And then was like, alright, I gotta get more soap.
That seems excessive.
Yeah.
Probably wreaked havoc on her hair.
Her poor scalp. Just all those oils are gone. He goes, alright, I need to look around my apartment and find things that I can use as shampoo. My brain would go, alright, I'm gonna get, laundry detergent. I'm gonna get
dish soap
and, like...
other sudsy kind of
right,
washing
like soap.
liquids.
Go grab body wash. Go, like... Well, or a bar of soap.
A bar of soap, even.
Right. I want you to take a wild guess as to what he uses. He goes into his kitchen.
Not the first place I'd go.
No, well, he must have just been that panicked and freaking out and just, like, anything. So, first he grabs honey and starts washing her hair with that.
I feel like that would prove difficult.
Yeah. Well, then he runs out of honey. So then he grabs salad dressing.
Side note, if you hear noises in the background, our little podcast mascot River is here. Okay, so he's looking for hair cleaners. He used honey.
He grabs salad dressing.
Ooh, definitely
I don't know what kind, but it's probably some kind of, like, Italian dressing or ranch or...
I mean, Italian would probably be the best bet.
Yeah.
It would probably do the least damage to the hair.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't necessarily think that was what he had in mind.
Well, he then runs out of the salad dressing. So he grabs cottage cheese.
Okay.
And starts washing her hair with cottage cheese.
Man, that must have smelled awful at this point.
Could you, she's bound and she's gagged. Could you imagine just being tied up and just feeling cottage cheese washed through your hair?
Probably fresh out of the fridge, so it's cold.
Yeah, and, like, her head's turned away. I doubt he's like, okay, so,
yeah, she's not just laying there taking it willingly.
This nice, like, original cottage cheese. It's gonna do wonders for your roots and, like, that kind of stuff. I really doubt he was
way past salon.
Yeah, there's no way he's showing her, hey, this is what I'm putting in your hair. I'm assuming they also never describe the setup in which he has her sitting, like, washing her hair. Is, like, she in a chair and he's just using a tub to do it? Is she by a sink? I'm assuming she must be, like, up against the sink because he was already in the kitchen and this is what he found.
Okay.
So that's what I'm assuming.
He didn't want to leave her alone, I suppose.
Right, that's what I'm assuming. Well, she's kind of getting fed up of getting cottage cheese and stuff washed through her hair. She's been at this for hours. And hours. Like, she is tired of this. So she starts slamming her feet on the ground because he is, like, a couple stories up. He's not the first floor tenant and everything like that. So she is just hoping that someone hears her banging, like, goes and complains. And he gets so upset at her for this. To where he doesn't... He says he didn't mean for anything to happen, but he, at some point, had put a noose around her neck, and to try to get her to stop banging her feet, he started pulling on it.
Just on accident.
Well, he said he was in such a frenzy. He couldn't tell time. Time had just stood still for him. So, like, what he thought was a matter of minutes had been hours.
And there were no drugs involved?
Not that I know of. It's just that he just gets so into it. And he ends up strangling her and kills her.
And he claims he's just doing that to try and stop her from banging
He
on the
claims
floor.
that he was just kind of like...
How do you just
he probably was just trying to make her go unconscious so then he could keep doing it until she woke up, but he probably went too far.
I mean, having someone tied up in your house, apartment, even...
Right.
So that you can just wash their hair forever is already a bit too
A
far.
little Jeffrey Dahmer with the sex, dolls kind of thing.
A little messed
But,
up. Well, it's a lot messed up.
right. But, like, I'm not defending any of his actions at all anyway, but, like, this is just what he said. Like, this was his defense, that he didn't mean to do it, that he was just in this frenzy. He was just trying to get her to, like, probably pass out and whatnot, and just didn't want it to stop, because I'm assuming she probably was the first person that let him do this. And that's probably why he got so worked up over it, was like,
He wanted to see
she
how
let
far
me
he
do
could
this.
take it.
I'm not gonna let her go because she's probably gonna be the only one to let me do this.
Well, he was pretty accurate to assume that.
Yeah, because he then was like, alright, I gotta hide this body. They'd done, like, a little bit of construction, so there was, like, a hole in the wall. And he stuffed her body in the wall.
Oh, so the theme is bodies and walls.
Bodies and walls.
Okay.
If they're alive or not, didn't specify. It's just a body and a wall.
Body and a wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that actually works out great, because our themed snack today is cotton candy.
Hey!
Because, as we said, if you listen to our trailer, awesome, thank you. But if you didn't, each of our episodes is going to be paired with a snack. So whichever one of us is hosting it is going to let the other one know. Basically, if Kate's doing something, this is the first time I'm hearing all of this stuff, but she lets me know, like, a few ideas of what we could do for a snack.
Or, like, the general theme of the topic.
Yeah. So all I got was bodies and walls.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense now. I was trying to figure out how this hair washing was gonna...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Really, yeah, I guess I kind of didn't lead into that, but... So he stuffs her body into a wall. I'm assuming he had to be on the top floor, because her body wasn't found until 9 months later. And it was only by chance, because the landlord was like, alright, I gotta get this roof fixed. People are complaining, it's been leaking. He pays people to go fix the roof. While they're fixing the roof, they open up a panel, because, like, they had to completely redo it, and they find her body.
So they just happened.
If that landlord didn't get,
How did nobody smell it?
I don't know. I know Europe has, like, rat issues, because,
Oh,
they
so
get
this
everywhere.
that's right, this happened over in
Germany. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're just like...
I don't know anything about building code there, so...
I don't know either. But she was in there for 9 months, and because of how crazy he was about washing her hair and how adamant he did not mean to kill her. All he got was that he has to stay in a psychiatric hospital for the rest of his life.
So they gave him insanity.
Basically, he got insanity. I don't know how Germany's insanity charges are, or, like, pleading insanity is. I know in the US, like, you have to meet a very, very specific definition for them to be like, this is insanity. Because they don't even, like, think multiple personality disorder is, like, a part of it.
I mean, maybe that's why I'm not
to be criminally
in the legal
insane.
system. Yeah.
Right. So it's just like...
It doesn't make sense to me how... I mean, somebody kills someone, how is that anything other than insane?
Right, but it's just kind of like...
But I suppose you need a on paper, concrete, legal definition.
And it's also really bad for you to plead insanity, because then it shows that you're just trying to use anything at your disposal to get out of those charges. So a lot of people that, like, get told, hey, like, you're not criminally insane, like, they end up getting worse charges because of it most of the time.
Because they were trying to fake it.
Because they were trying to fake it, yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was our twofer.
That was our kind of short beginning episode. We're still kind of getting the hang of this.
This is going to be a once a week podcast, reduced. Wow. I'm having a great one. We're going to be posting these at noon Central Time on Mondays, the matinee Mondays with the Massacre Matinee. And I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it. We're gonna have a lot of different kinds of topics. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have some guest hosts.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of cases where we are actually going to have personal information that relates directly to the case, as well as a very special interview on one particular case that's going to be getting done, hopefully, pretty soon.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun stuff, and if you liked this episode, feel free to follow the podcast. We will be, hopefully in the future, expanding to Apple Podcasts. But
And
right
having
now,
some social medias and everything like that.
yeah, but right now, you know, we're a little baby podcast.
We're vibing, we're chilling.
We're chilling, hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I already have many cases researched and just ready to go.
We have been dying for this moment.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
man.
end this thing, so
We're gonna
it's been
ramble.
fun.
Yeah.
I've been Mingus. That's
I've
been Panda. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, it's Mingus with the Massacre Matinee. If you like this episode and want to hear future episodes, follow us on Spotify.